Do you feel like something big is meant for you, but it just hasn't arrived yet? Not because you're lazy or lost, but because you've been waiting for the right signal. This May 14th, 2025, that signal might finally arrive. According to ancient Buddhist teachings, 6 sacred numbers are aligning with a rare energetic portal, a day when luck, clarity, and intention come together. These aren't random digits. Each one carries a deeper message, one of release, growth, purpose, and yes, real abundance. This isn't about chasing wealth. It's about becoming someone who attracts it effortlessly by living with mindfulness, making clear choices, and aligning with your highest values. If you felt stuck, drained, or uncertain, this moment is your wake-up call. The numbers we reveal today aren't here to fix your life. They're here to mirror the strength already inside you. To kick off this journey, give this video a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss insights like this. And comment below. I welcome growth and harmony into my life. Just by doing that, you set an intention and open a new energetic doorway. Ready to discover your 6 numbers for May 14th. Let's begin. Part 1, number 10. Completion and new beginnings. Sometimes the hardest part of the journey isn't starting, it's knowing when something is over. In the realm of Buddhist philosophy, the number 10 represents more than just a conclusion. It symbolizes the full circle, the graceful end of one chapter, and the sacred readiness to step into a new one. It is both completion and rebirth, a spiritual punctuation mark followed by a clean line. So what does that mean for you this May 14th, 2025? It means you may be standing at a threshold right now between what has been and what could be. It's subtle. There may be no big signs, no loud announcements. But deep within, there's a quiet voice asking, what am I still holding on to that no longer serves me? This number is your invitation to release, not in bitterness, but in gratitude. To say, thank you for what you taught me. And now, I let you go. In the Buddhist path, this practice is essential. Impermanence anicca is not something to fear, but something to embrace. The lotus only blooms when it emerges from the mud. In the same way, your past pain, your waiting seasons, your quiet efforts, they were never wasted. They prepared the ground. Let's reflect. Have you been pushing through something quietly for months or years, working on a goal that felt out of reach, carrying emotional weight no one else sees? Buddha once said, endurance is one of the most difficult disciplines, but it is to the one who endures that the final victory comes. That quote embodies the energy of number 10. 10 is a karmic checkpoint. It whispers, you've done enough. You've learned the lesson. Now it's time to trust yourself and move forward. This is not about dramatic endings. It's about choosing peace over struggle, clarity over confusion. Sometimes the most powerful breakthroughs happen not when we fight harder, but when we finally accept that a cycle has ended. Let's make this real. I once worked with a woman named Sarah, who spent 5 years trying to revive a small business that no longer aligned with her values. She clung to it because it represented her identity, her pride, her past sacrifices. But deep down, she knew it was time to let go. The number 10 came up for her in meditation and dreams, again and again. Finally, she closed her business not as a failure, but as a sacred release. Within 6 months, she launched a wellness retreat center that filled her life with joy and purpose. That first decision to close with gratitude was the real turning point. That's what the number 10 brings. Completion not as an ending, but as empowerment. So, ask yourself honestly, what chapter of your life is quietly closing? What new beginning is waiting for your permission? If you felt like you've been repeating the same patterns or emotionally stuck, May 14th is a chance to shift. The energy of 10 supports clarity, closure, and courage. You don't have to know exactly where you're going. You just need to trust that you're no longer where you were. Affirmation for this number. I honor what has ended, and I trust what is beginning. Comment below. If this speaks to you, I release with gratitude. I begin with peace. Part 2, number 3, playful courage and sacred balance. If the number 10 signals a door closing and a new one opening, then number 3 is the energy that dances through that door with light in its step and fire in its heart. In many spiritual traditions, the number 3 represents creativity, expression, and boldness. But in Buddhist wisdom, it goes even deeper. It represents the harmony of mind, body, and spirit. When these 3 elements are aligned, life becomes not just something we manage, but something we live fully. And let's be honest, how often do we feel truly aligned? Most of us are pulled in different directions, trying to do what's expected, keep the peace chase, goals, survive the day. In the middle of all that, our true voice, the one that laughs easily, dreams wildly, and speaks with honesty, can get lost. That's where the number 3 comes in. It's here to reignite your courage, but not the hard, aggressive kind. The playful kind. The kind of courage that allows you to show up as you truly are, not as who the world expects you to be. Think about it. When was the last time you spoke your truth without editing yourself? When was the last time you did something just because it lit you up inside? In Buddhist practice, there's a constant return to balance. The Eightfold Path speaks of right speech, right action, right thought, a trinity of mindful living. This mirrors the number 3 beautifully. When these 3 align, you begin to experience clarity, joy, and momentum. But here's the challenge: it requires you to be honest. Not just with others, but with yourself. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named Thomas, a talented calligrapher who gave up his art to work in finance after pressure from his family. For years, he felt out of place, tired, anxious, empty. Then one day, while cleaning out a drawer, he found one of his old ink brushes. Holding it, he felt something inside him shift. He started drawing again at night, quietly, secretly. That small act of creative return brought his spirit back to life. Eventually, he began posting his work online. Within a year, he had enough commission requests to leave his job. But more importantly, he felt whole again. He wasn't chasing luck. He was living in alignment. That is the power of 3. It calls you to reconnect with the parts of yourself that may have been dimmed or dismissed. To remember that joy is not a luxury, it's a compass. So here's your question for this week. Where in your life are you holding back your true voice? It could be in your career, in a relationship, or even just in how you talk to yourself. The energy of number 3 reminds you, you are allowed to shine. You are allowed to be joyful. You are allowed to begin again with heart. Affirmation for this number: I express myself with joy, courage, and truth. Comment below. If this resonates with you, I choose playful courage and sacred balance. Your path isn't just about survival. It's about becoming more fully, vividly you. Part 3, number 18, letting go for freedom. The number 18 doesn't arrive with noise. It doesn't kick down doors or shout for attention. It walks in quietly like a breeze after a storm and whispers, "You don't have to carry all of that anymore." In Buddhist teachings, letting go is one of the highest forms of wisdom. Why? Because it's hard. We humans are experts at clinging to pain, old stories, relationships, dreams that no longer fit, and identities that have already expired. But number 18 offers a sacred invitation to trade heaviness for healing, to release what no longer serves your path, not through force, but through grace. Think about your own life. What are you holding on to simply because it's familiar, What has already ended, but you're still carrying it like it's yours to fix. Buddha taught, you only lose what you cling to. And in that single truth lies the energy of this number. Let's get practical. In many cultures, 18 is seen as the age of adulthood the moment we step into independence. Spiritually, it mirrors that same moment, a call to step into responsibility for your inner world, to choose peace over the illusion of control. I once spoke with a woman named Linda, who held on to a failed partnership for years, not because it was good, but because she had invested so much into it. The time, the energy, the dreams. She said if I let it go, it's like admitting I failed. But the truth was, holding on was the real failure. It was robbing her of energy, clarity, and joy. When she finally walked away with tears and trembling, but also truth, she didn't feel empty. She felt free. Number 18 doesn't demand that you give up everything. It simply asks, what is weighing you down that you no longer need? Sometimes it's financial stress rooted in outdated goals. Sometimes it's a dream that no longer matches who you are. Sometimes it's guilt, shame, or a voice in your head saying, you're not allowed to move on yet. But here's what the Buddhist path teaches. Transformation doesn't begin with striving. It begins with release. You cannot receive something new if your hands are full of the old. And letting go doesn't mean loss. It means trusting that what's meant for you won't require suffering to keep. Let's pause here. Look around your emotional and mental space. What needs to be cleared gently, lovingly, but decisively? Maybe it's time to forgive someone who never said sorry. Let go of a plan that hasn't felt right in a long time. Release the pressure to prove yourself and simply be. Affirmation for this number. I release what no longer serves me and make space for peace. If this speaks to you, comment I choose freedom through letting go, because true abundance flows not through control, but through clarity, lightness, and trust. Part 4. Number 37, Midlife Awakening and the Path of Enlightenment. Some numbers speak softly, others echo through the soul. Number 37 is one of those echoes. It's not just a number, it's a spiritual map. In Buddhist teachings, the number 37 refers to the 37 factors of enlightenment, a complete path the Buddha laid out to guide us from confusion to awakening, from noise to clarity, from surviving to truly living. But here's the question, why does this matter now? Because many of us reach a point often somewhere between the ages of 30 and 65 when we start to feel off, not broken, not lost, just disconnected. We're doing everything right on the outside, holding down jobs, raising families, paying bills. But inside, there's a subtle ache, a quiet wondering. Is this it? That's not failure. That's the beginning of awakening. And that's where 37 comes in. This number signals that you may be ready not just for a change in circumstances, but for a deep shift in consciousness. Let me tell you about Jack, a man in his early 50s. He was respected in his industry, well paid, and had the kind of life that others admired. But one morning while sitting in his car outside the office, he felt like his chest was filled with stones. He said it wasn't depression, it was numbness. I wasn't unhappy. I was unawake. That week he stumbled upon a book about the 37 factors of enlightenment. He didn't understand all of it, but one idea stuck with him. You cannot find peace by rearranging your outer life. You must align the inner. Jack didn't quit his job. He didn't move to a monastery. But he started waking up 30 minutes earlier each day, just to sit in silence, to breathe, to reflect, to reconnect with the parts of himself he had buried under responsibility. And slowly, the stones in his chest began to dissolve. That's the medicine of 37. It says you don't need to escape your life to awaken. You need to return to mindfulness, to purpose to you. In practical terms, the 37 factors of enlightenment include qualities like mindfulness, investigation, energy, joy, concentration, equanimity. Each one is a light on the path when life feels dark. But here's what's powerful. You don't need to master all 37. Just pick one and practice it. Maybe it's equanimity, staying centered in the middle of chaos. Maybe it's joy, allowing yourself to feel delight without guilt. Maybe it's energy, finally prioritizing your own well-being. This is not about becoming enlightened in some distant future. It's about waking up to your own life now. So ask yourself, where have I gone on autopilot? What part of me is quietly asking to be seen, heard, and honored again? Because here's the truth. The most dangerous kind of sleep is the one we fall into while awake. Affirmation for this number. I choose presence over performance. I awaken one breath at a time. If this resonates with you, comment, I am ready to awaken. Because 37 doesn't just point to fortune, it points to freedom. Part 5, number 28, quiet persistence and prosperity. Through connection. At first glance, 28 might not look like a lucky number. It doesn't dazzle with boldness or mysticism, but hidden in its simplicity is a powerful truth. Lasting abundance isn't built overnight. It grows quietly through persistence and deep connection. Let's break it down. The number 2 speaks of balance, relationship, and cooperation. The number 8 represents abundant success and the karmic flow of energy. Together, 28 becomes a symbol of prosperity, earned through consistency, community, and meaningful relationships, the kind that support both your external goals and your internal peace. Think about your own journey. Have you been quietly showing up every day, planting seeds no one else sees, tending to your dreams, even when they feel distant, holding space for others, even when your own energy feels low? If so, 28 is your number. Because the energy of this number doesn't reward noise, it rewards faithful effort. It says, keep going. You're further than you think. I once met a man named Jaden who had been running a small tea shop in a quiet part of town. His business was never viral. He had no Instagram fame. But every day he showed up with intention. He knew his customers by name. He poured his tea with presence. And after years of quiet effort, his shop became a gathering place, not just for drinks, but for connection. When a travel blogger stumbled across it and wrote about the shop, it went viral overnight. But the success wasn't luck. It was the natural result of the energy he had poured into it all along. That's the essence of 28. Show up, build slowly, connect deeply, and trust that the return will come. In Buddhist teachings, this principle is rooted in the 3 jewels. The Buddha, your inner wisdom. The Dharma, your path. The Sangha, your spiritual community. Sangha community is often overlooked in the pursuit of wealth. But real prosperity is rarely built alone. So ask yourself, who are you walking with? Who lifts your spirit and holds you accountable? And more importantly, where can you build more bridges instead of walls? Number 28 reminds us, connection isn't a distraction from your success. It's the foundation of it. In a world obsessed with hustle and individualism, this number calls us back to something ancient. Shared effort, mutual care, quiet trust. And here's the key. Just because it's quiet doesn't mean it's not working. Just because it's slow doesn't mean it's not strong. 28 says, you are not forgotten. Your effort is seen. Your patience is planting roots. Affirmation for this number. I grow through patience. I thrive through connection. If this message resonates with you, comment below. I honor my path, and I strengthen my circle, because prosperity doesn't just mean profit, it means belonging. And the seeds you water today may quietly bloom into a future more beautiful than you imagined. Part 6, number 34, Presence over Perfection. What if the moment you've been waiting for is already here, just quieter than you expected? That's the quiet truth the number 34 brings. It doesn't shout or sparkle. It simply invites to pause, to breathe, to begin not when things are perfect, but right now just as they are. Let's look at the parts. 3 speaks to expression, alignment, and creative boldness. 4 brings stability, structure, and grounded action. Together, 34 becomes a sacred reminder that the most powerful movement often starts with imperfect steps, with messy progress, not flawless plans. In Buddhist thought, this is echoed through the teaching of sati mindfulness. True mindfulness is not about always being calm or composed. It's about being fully present moment by moment, even when things are messy, uncertain, or incomplete. Perfection clings. Presence releases. I once mentored a young man named Johnson. He was brilliant, thoughtful, but constantly stuck. He wouldn't start a project unless everything was perfectly in place. He waited for the right time to launch his business, waited to feel confident before applying for new opportunities, waited for the perfect moment to tell his parents how he really felt. And of course, that perfect moment never came. What shifted everything for him was a Buddhist phrase: start where you are, use what you have, be who you are. He began taking small steps, sending imperfect emails, applying to jobs, even when he felt unsure, opening up to people, little by little. And you know what happened? He didn't just move forward. He came alive. That's the magic of 34. It's the moment you stop asking, when will I be ready? And start realizing you already are. The energy of 34 tells us this: stop delaying your life in the name of a better version of yourself. Stop waiting until you know enough, have enough, or feel enough. Because the truth is, clarity often comes from action, not before it. In Buddhist practice, we're reminded all conditioned things are impermanent. That means nothing stays the same, not your fear, not your self-doubt, not the people or conditions around you. So what if you took the leap before everything is figured out? Ask yourself, where in your life are you holding back, waiting for the perfect moment? What is one small, present, imperfect step you can take today? Whether it's making a decision about your finances, speaking up in a relationship, or finally doing the thing you've been dreaming about for years, let 34 be your gentle push. Because here's what most people don't realize: presence is more powerful than perfection ever will be. When you meet life as it is with awareness and openness, you begin to flow instead of force. You stop performing, you start participating. And that's when things truly shift. Affirmation for this number: I move forward with presence, not perfection. If this speaks to you, comment below. I choose progress over perfection, because sometimes the most lucky thing we can do is simply to say yes to life as it is not as we wish it was. Part 7, Wednesday, Wealth Rituals. Based on Buddhist practice, we've explored the deeper meanings behind the 6 lucky numbers for Wednesday, May 14th, 2025. But insight alone isn't enough. To truly shift your energy, you must live your wisdom. That's where ritual comes in, not as superstition, but as a mindful practice that grounds intention in action. Here are 5 simple yet powerful Buddhist-inspired rituals you can do this Sunday to align yourself with prosperity, clarity, and flow. 1. Morning Dharma check-in. What can I release? Today, before reaching for your phone, sit quietly and ask yourself, what am I holding on to that I no longer need? Write it down. Then breathe deeply and say, I release. I trust. Let this be your energetic reset. 2. The seed planting ritual. Take a small candle or a potted plant, hold it gently, and speak your intention for wealth aloud, something like, may my efforts be rooted in wisdom and bloom in peace. Light the candle or water, the plant visualizing your growth beginning now. 3. Evening. Gratitude. Journal. At the end of the day list, 3 things you gave time, attention, kindness. 3 things you received support, insight, opportunity. This balances giving and receiving, a key principle of abundance in Buddhist teachings. 4. 3-minute walking meditation. Take a short, silent walk. No music, no phone. With each step, repeat a mantra. I walk with purpose. I walk in peace. This practice grounds energy and invites clarity into your movement. 5. The Dana Challenge. Give without expectation. Dana, or generosity, is the heart of wealth in Buddhism. Choose one small act of anonymous giving. Today, a note of encouragement, a donation, a kind message. Give then, let go. That's the essence of true abundance. By practicing even one of these rituals, you're not just calling in luck, you're becoming someone who lives in alignment with it. Comment below, I honor this Sunday with presence and peace. Let the community feel your energy, and let these practices guide your transformation. Part 8. Clear mind and financial wisdom. Buddhist perspective. When it comes to wealth, most people focus on numbers, income, expenses, investments, debt. But in the Buddhist path, the first question is always, what is the state of your mind? Because true wealth begins with clarity, not just clarity about money, but clarity about what matters, what you value, and how you respond under pressure. Let's be honest, money isn't just math, it's emotional. We spend when we're anxious. We hold back when we're afraid. We chase more when we feel not enough. That's why one of the most important teachings in Buddhism is the development of clear mind panna in Pali. This isn't just intelligence, it's deep wisdom rooted in stillness and presence. 1. Pause before you spend. Before you reach for your wallet, stop. Take a breath. Ask yourself, is this choice coming from alignment or reaction? In a world that thrives on urgency, flash sales, one-day offers, limited time deals, the pause is revolutionary. It returns your power. It creates space between impulse and action. One clear breath can prevent one unclear choice. 2. Understand cause and effect. In Buddhist thought, every choice has a ripple. This is known as karma, not punishment, but consequence. When you spend from fear or greed, that energy stays with you. When you spend from presence, generosity, or trust, you create peace even in financial matters. Before you buy, borrow, or invest, ask, will this bring long-term calm or short-term craving? Let each dollar be a seed. Plant it with care. 3. Simplify desires. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha said, there is no fire like craving. Modern life fuels craving in subtle ways. Comparing your life to others, thinking more stuff equals more status, believing happiness lives in upgrades. But a clear mind sees through the illusion. Simplifying doesn't mean giving up joy. It means focusing on what truly supports your peace. Ask, do I need this? Will it add clarity or clutter? Is this a purchase or a distraction? Often financial stress isn't caused by a lack of money, but a lack of mindfulness. So how do you begin? Start small. Take a deep breath before spending. Keep a money clarity journal. Reflect weekly. Did I spend from peace or pressure? The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to be present. Comment below, I choose clarity over craving. Let this be your mantra as you step into financial wisdom the Buddhist way. Because in the end, wealth is not just what you have, It's how clear, calm, and conscious you are in using it. So here we are. 6 sacred numbers, 6 spiritual invitations, and 1 powerful truth. Luck isn't something you find. It's something you align with. On Wednesday, May 14th, 2025, you're not just playing numbers, you're meeting energy. Each number we explored, 10, 3, 18, 37, 28, and 34, holds a mirror to your inner world. They ask you not just to wish for wealth, but to become someone who receives it with wisdom, balance, and grace. Because in the end, real abundance is not about chance. It's about clarity. It's about letting go. It's about showing up boldly, patiently, and mindfully, over and over again. Buddhism teaches us peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. Wealth does too. So instead of asking, will I get lucky this Wednesday, ask, what energy am I bringing into this day? You don't need more signs. You need more stillness. You don't need perfection. You need presence. Before you go, comment below. I walk in wisdom. I welcome abundance. Your words carry power. Let them anchor your intention. And if this message resonated, give the video a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. More wisdom is waiting, and you're already on the path. May this Wednesday bring you clarity, courage, and calm prosperity.